Besides a local chat, text chat, signpost, and a map post, there are other ways of coordinating with other players. One of those is to join a squad. In the right side of our screen, we can find the squad panel, and the squad panel is separated into regional squads and a global squad. So the global squads are all the squads that are available on our faction. The ones that are regional are all the squads that are available in the current hex you are in. In front of the squad, we can see whether or not a squad is locked or open. If it is locked, we cannot join it easily, and there will be a lock icon in front of it. And if it is open, there will be no lock icon. Behind the squad name in parentheses, we can see the amount of players that are currently online in that squad. To join a open squad, we can simply right-click on the squad name and click Join Squad. When we do that, we can see that our squad panel changed and that we can see there are 2 people in this squad right now, DMD as the squad leader and me, Ferk, as a normal member. If we want to leave the squad for whatever reason, we can come to the top of the squad panel and click the exit button, and that will take us out of the squad. If we do that, we get the confirmation question, and if we click OK, we leave the squad. When we do, we can see that our entire squads panel is back to where it was. Now that I'm out of the squad, we can see that DMD locked the squad, which means that I cannot easily join the squad. So if I now right-click on the temp squad and I want to be part of this squad, I can click Join Squad, and it will tell me that this squad is private. Do you want to send a request to join? If I click a request will land on a DMD's notifications, and if he accepts, I am part of the squad. If you have the rank of at least corporal, you can create your own squad. You can check that by pressing F1, and looking in the top, you can see your rank. In the squads panel, we can see that there is an icon with 2 people and a plus icon. If we left click on that, it will ask us to create the squad and enter the squad name. At maximum, a squad name can have 10 characters. I, however, want to name my squad FFS, so I can simply type FFS and hit the create button, and now I have my own squad that is called FFS with me as the only member. We can also see that by default, a squad that you just made is going to be locked. To turn it into an open squad, we can simply click the lock icon, and that will open up the squad to everybody. You are not limited to being member of a single squad. You can be a member of up to 4 squads. So if I want to rejoin the squad I was part of earlier, I can simply come to the squad panel and click on the magnifying glass icon. That will open up the squad list. And if we now look in a regional, we can see that the temp squad is still there. So to ask for an invite again, we can simply right click on it and say join squad. Then we click the request button and send a request to DMD to join the squad again. Now he invited us into the squad, which means that we are now a active member of temp squad, as we can see, because our name is highlighted inside the squad. If I switch to the FFS squad by clicking on the FFS panel, we can see that I am still the squad leader there, but that my name is sort of grayed out. If I want this to be my active squad, I can simply left click on the person icon with the check mark, and now we can see this FFS is my active squad, as is indicated by my name being yellow again. If I now tap to the temp squad, we can see that my name is grayed out in the list, meaning that I'm not an active member of that squad. If I want to get rid of the squad list on the left side, I can simply click the magnifying glass with the minus icon, and that will take away the squad list. If I want to minimize the squad panel as well, I can come to the squad panel and click the minus button in the top right, and that will collapse it and pull it all the way to the bottom. If there are specific people you want to invite to your squad, you can do that either through the F1 menu by pressing F1 and finding, for instance, DMD, right-clicking on him and saying invite to squad. Or if we are in the vicinity and we see him, we can hold down the left alt key until we get the magnifying glass, and then a left click on DMD and say invite to squad. If we do that, a squad invite is sent to DMD, and if he accepts, we can see that he now shows up in the FFS member list and that his name turned to a yellow. When other people send a request to join your squad, it will appear in the top left of your screen. And when it does, you can simply click the green check mark to accept them and they will come into your squad. Now that we are part of the squad, we have access to the squad chat, which can be used by pressing G and talking. Hello, just testing this voice chat.
Hello.
And as we can see in the list, if DMD is talking, his icon will light up. And if I'm talking, my icon lights up. If we press enter and we go into text chat, we can see that we have, if we tap through the different channels, a squad text chat right now. So we say hello in squad chat, and that shows up in our chat feed as a squad message. When we are close to our squad leader, in the top right of our compass, we can see that there is an arrow pointing towards the exact location of our squad leader. So we can just follow our compass right now. And if we do, we can see that our squad leader is trying to hide, but that we found him right now. As we can see, he has a special type of yellow instead of green as his name. Now, we can switch roles, so we can make me squad leader, and for that, I have to ask DMD to make me squad leader, so I'll do that. So once he assigns me the squad lead, his name color changes to a very light yellow, and we can see that in the squad panel, my name now has a star in front of it, indicating that I am the squad lead. To give DMD the squad lead back, I can simply right click on his name and say reassign squad leader. If we do that, we can see that now in the squad panel, his name is the yellow again and has the star in front of it, and that on our compass, the arrow starts to point towards DMD again. Other upsides of having a squad is that you can have squad-specific markers. So if we press M to open the map, we can see the DMD put a squad marker on the map, and this marker is only visible to the members of this squad. It functions the same as any other map marker, so you can upvote it and you can set replies. I can do the same thing. So if I right click and I want to create a map post, in the dropdown, I can now select squad and say another marker, hit post, and this another marker is now visible to both me and DMD and all other people that would find themselves in the temp squad. If I switch back to FFS squad as my active squad by clicking on that panel and clicking the check mark icon, and we reload the map, we can see that the map markers are not visible because it is not my active squad anymore. If I come back to the temp squad, hit the active button, and we reload the map by pressing M twice, we can see that the map markers are back. Another upside of the squad is that you can make orders in the factory, in the mass production factory, that can be picked up by any squad member. So if we come to the factory over here and we press E to open it up, and I want to make a order for shirts, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pick them up. So I click the shirt icon, and then in the output panel, I select the drop down, and from the drop down, I select FFS as the squad. I can choose the temp squad as well, but I'm using FFS right now. And if I hit the play button, this order can be picked up by any member of the FFS squad if they are at this factory. They can do that by coming to the output panel and in the top clicking the squad panel. And in the squad panel, we can see that there are currently 2 orders from my squads. One order is made for the temp squad by a DMD, which I can also see because I am still a member of temp squad, and the order I just put in for 4 crates of shirts for FFS. When a squad order is ready, we can see in the squad output panel that it turns to a green check mark, and even though it was DMD who placed this order, since he put it as a squad order, I can take the 4 crates. So I can simply click the green check mark, and if I do, it will take the 4 crates of shirts into my inventory. And if we hover over the crates, we can see that these crates are still reservable. Orders in the mass production factory can also be set to squad. So if we come to the MPF over here, we press E to open it up. And in the output queue, we can see that I have currently 2 orders running and that the dropdown is still available. If I want, I can select the dropdown menu and set it to be for the FFS squad. So if I click the FFS squad in the dropdown menu, The order when ready is now available for pickup for anybody in the squad. If I check the squad panel on the output queue, I can see that if I scroll down, there is a order for 9 crates of SMG ammo that DMD put in and set to squad, as we can see if we hover over it, and that there is a order by me for 9 crates of gas. If you are in a squad and you have at least 3 active members in the region, you can squad lock a vehicle. To do that, we press E to open the vehicle, and in the actions panel, we can click the Reserve for Active Squad or the Reserve for Squad button. If we click the Reserve for Active Squad, it will reserve it for the squad that we are an active member of. And if we click the Reserve for a Squad button, we get a drop-down list of all the squads we are part of. Currently, I'm only part of the FFS squad, so we can select that. Press OK. Now that the vehicle is a squad locked, it means that only squad members can lock and unlock the vehicle, can change its fuel type, and can transfer items in and out of the truck. So if I leave the squad by clicking the Leave Squad button and I say OK, and I now press E to open the truck, I can see that I am not authorized to do that and that this truck is reserved by the squad FFS. If I try to change the fuel type, we can see that it is reserved by squad FFS. If I try to lock it, the same message appears. We can see that Lyrica right now can put stuff in, but I can't take it out. While the vehicle is still unlocked, I can hop in and out of the truck and just drive it around. The only thing I cannot do is put things in the inventory and take things out of the inventory or change the fuel type. When the vehicle is squad locked and locked, we can see that with a wrench, I can still wrench the vehicle and that will get rid of the lock, but it will not get rid of the squad lock. So once it is unlocked, I can hop inside the truck, but if I try to transfer things from and to the truck, we can see that it is impossible. Once we get the invite and we're back into the squad, we press E to open the truck and we can see that we can now use it again. So we can see in the actions panel that it is still squad locked, and if we want, we can make it public again by simply left clicking on the make public icon. And when we do that, we can see that everybody can use this truck again. Because we still have 3 active members, we can re-squad lock it by simply coming to the actions panel and click Reserve for Active Squad again. When a material transfer station is newly built, the original builder can squad lock it to his active squad. When a material transfer station is squad locked, all the squad members can still submit and retrieve materials from the material transfer station. If I, however, leave the squad by clicking the Leave Squad and pressing OK, and I press E to open the material transfer station and I try to take the assembly materials, we can see that access is not granted for this stockpile, and that is because this stockpile is reserved to the FFS squad. When I am part of the squad again, I can hop into the truck, press E to open the material transfer station, and start transferring materials from the material transfer station to the truck and back. Maintenance tunnels can also be squad reserved, and we can see that if we bring out our hammer and press F to go into upgrade mode and we aim at the tunnel, we can see that the reserved squad is FFS. If we press F to go out of upgrade mode again and we press E to open the maintenance tunnel, if I now right click on one of the crates of maintenance supply and I say submit to stockpile and I select one so that I have 1 left, we can see that there is 100 M subs inside the maintenance tunnel, and that if I want to, I can change the settings of the maintenance tunnel. If I, however, leave the squad, so I click the Leave Squad button, I press OK, and I try to change the settings, I can see that they are all grayed out. And if I try to submit the crate of maintenance supplies by right-clicking and saying submit to stockpile, I can still do that because it does not prevent me from adding M subs. It will, however, prevent me from taking M subs from the stockpile. So if I left-click on the maintenance supplies in the stockpile, I can see that the access is not granted for this stockpile. When I am a member of the squad again, I can press E to open it up again. I can see that the settings are white again, so I can change the settings on the maintenance tunnel, and I can also take the maintenance supplies out of the stockpile of the maintenance tunnel. And as a squad member, I can also refresh the reservation on the maintenance tunnel simply by clicking refresh reservations, and that will refresh it for the coming 52 hours. If a facility or power building is squad locked, people that are not in the squad are not able to use the upgrade. So since I am part of the FFS squad, I have the option to make the petrol power plant. But if I leave the squad by clicking the leave squad button, if I press E to open the diesel power plant and I go to the upgrades panel and I click the petrol power plant, I can see that I'm not authorized to do that. And this diesel power plant is reserved by the squad FFS. So the squad reservation will block non-squad members from upgrading your facility or power structure, and it will also block them from attaching pipes or power lines. So with the power pole built here, if I use the power line and I try to connect it to the diesel power plant, we can see that I am not allowed to adjust power lines on reserved structures. If I now accept the invite to the squad and I'm part of the squad again, and I press B to open the build menu, select a power line, I can connect a power line between the power pole and the diesel power plant. And if I come to the diesel power plant, I can press E to open it up, and in the upgrades menu, select the upgrade, and that will start upgrading the diesel power plant to a petrol power plant. Another organizational tool besides squads is the regiment. To be able to make a regiment, you need to be a staff sergeant or higher. So if we press F1 to open the character menu, we can see that I am definitely above a staff sergeant rank. And if we look in the right side of that menu, we can see that there is the regiment panel. To create one, we can simply left click on the create regiment button. If we do that, the game will ask us for a name for our regiment, our tag, and a Discord invite link. So we type in the name we want our regiment to have. What you type in the tag field will be used by the game to put in front of each member's name inside the game. So that is why we see a lot of people running around with regiment tags in brackets in front of their name. This field at maximum can hold 5 characters. So if we type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can see that if we try to type 6, we cannot. But since this is for frontline services, we probably should go with something that reflects that, like FFS. And the Discord field is where you can type in the end of a Discord invite link. So if you have a regimental Discord, you can paste the invite code there like this. And if we now press submit, we've created our own regiment. And as we can see in the regiment panel, there is one member, that is me. I am the commander, and there can only be one commander, and I am currently in Great March. We also gained a actions panel where there is a regiment link to the regiment's Discord server. So if we left click on that, it will allow us to copy the link, and you can paste that in a browser and go to that Discord server. We can leave the regiment. We can edit the regiment, which allows us to change the name, the tag, and the Discord link. If we want to disband a regiment, or if we have to disband a regiment because we are switching sides in a war, we have to come to the actions panel and to the garbage can icon. If we click that, we get a confirmation window that asks us to type disband in capitals to actually confirm this action, so you cannot accidentally just disband your regiment. Now, if we want to invite people to our regiment, for instance, somebody in our squad, we can simply right-click on their name. We can say invite to regiment. We can see in the top left that the invite was sent. And after the person accepted, we can see that the person accepted and joined the regiment. We now press F1 again. We can see that DMD joined the FFS regiment as a member and that he is currently in Deadlands. If we click on his name in the list, we can see that we can promote him to commander, which will make me an officer and he will be the commander since a regiment can only have one commander. I can promote him to officer, which allows him to invite people to the regiment, kick people from the regiment, and promote members to officer. So we do that by simply left-clicking on the promote to officer, and if we click accept, he is now an officer. If I want to give over the command position, I can do that as well by simply clicking on his name and saying promote to commander, and when I do that, I will be demoted to officer. So I click accept, and now DMD is commander. Since I am not the commander of the regiment anymore, I lost the option to disband the regiment. That is something that only the commander can do, but I can still leave the regiment. And if I click the leave a regiment button and we accept, we can see that my regiment panel is now empty. If we look in our squads list, we can see that DMD is still in and that his tag is still in front of his name and that he just sent me an invite. And if I click the green check mark, I become member of the regiment again. So if I press F1, I can see that I am back inside the regiment FFS. As we can see in the top left, DMD just passed the commander role back to me. So if I now press F1 to open the regiment, we can see that DMD is now an officer and I am a commander. If I want to kick DMD out of the FFS regiment, I can do that by right-clicking and coming to the bottom of the pop-up menu and say discharge from regiment. And it will ask us if we are sure. And if we are, we can click accept. And that leaves the squad empty with just me in it. Just like with squads, the regiment will give you a text chat channel, but no voice chat channel. So if we press enter to open chat and we tab through the different channels in our text chat, we can see that the regiment chat is now available. So we say hello. If we press M to open a map and we right click to place a marker and we go to the drop down menu, we can see that we have 3 options: the public, the squad and the regiment. We can make a regiment post here. So we type in a text for the regiment post. Another upside of being a commander or an officer inside a regiment is the ability to wear an officer's uniform. So if we come to a factory, we press E to open it up and we go to the uniforms category. We can see that there is the officer's uniform, which is unique for just officers and commanders of regiments. To make a crate of 3 of these uniforms, we need 100 basic materials. We click on the icon, which will put it in the output panel. We click the play button and it will take slightly over a minute to make 1 crate. When the order is ready, we can simply click the green check mark and that will place the crate of uniforms into our backpack. And we then need to submit this crate of uniforms into the stockpile of a base to pull it out. So we come to the town base over here. We press E to open the town base. We right click on the crate and we say submit all to stockpile. We can simply left click, that will assemble it into our backpack. And now to switch into our officer's attire, we can press tab to go out of the menu, press tab to open our inventory, and we left click on the officer's uniform, which will switch out with our normal legionary fatigues. And now if we tab out of our inventory and we zoom in on ourselves, we can see that we are now sporting the beautiful officer's uniform. Command tepelstreeltje real quick. Tepelstreeltje, where are you at? Tepelstreeltje, niemand weet dat ik tepelstreeltje heet. Now, why can't I pronounce... Why? Glass. Magnifying glass. Magnifying glass. God.